Okay, now we're gonna talk about domain and range. So I want you to remember what that means, domain. Domain is all the values for X, and range is all the values for Y. So now in this particular problem, I'm gonna go over about your notation because I want you to remember how we do set notation. So I know the first problem, the first question here says, which shows a function with a domain of all real numbers less than 3. So I know I'm looking at the X values. So the first thing that you will do is to cancel F and G. And then we will look between H and J, which one has all values that are less than 3. So I know this is gonna be H because on H on the less numbers, that will be my answer. But let me talk about each of these individually. So let's assume that in letter F, I ask you what is the range. So you are going to tell me the following. You open the little braces. And what is the range? The range is the Y value. So you write Y. And then this bar, which you read it such that. So in this case, the Y value such that, in this case Y, and now you look that it has an open circle. That means that point is not included. So I'm going to say these numbers are less, so I do not put the equal sign because it's an open circle. Is less than which values? Is less than 4. And I close my brackets. Okay, another way how you can write it is as follows. You can have your brackets Y such that, and I can have Y in the middle, and I can have these values like this. What is the smallest value? Well, it's coming from where? From negative, it's coming from negative infinity. I can say from negative infinity all the way to which number? Positive 3, and then you close it. That's another way how you can also write it. So now let's look at letter G. If I'm looking at G, let's talk about the range. So I do braces and Y bar, which means such that, and I can say such that what? Y is what? Is less than which values? Less than 0. And notice I did not include the equals because it's an open circle. Now, if it's a closed circle, you will put the little equals underneath. Now, what else I can say? I can also say Y such that, and I can put Y in the middle, and I can put my inequalities, and you start with the lowest value. Well, it's coming from where? From negative infinity and ends at 0. So do not get confused if you see this notation we went over. So now let's look at this one. Let's talk about domain. So what do you say for domain? X such that X, what about X? Well, the X values in this case are less than 3. So that will be my answer. And this one, same thing. If I want to do my notation, X such that, and I'm going to do over here my entire notation is between which numbers? The smallest number is coming from negative infinity and stops in this case at 6. And since they are open, I do not put the equal sign. So make sure you guys remember that. Okay. Now I'm gonna look at this problem over here, which I really need you to understand what is happening here. I'm just adding all the values that are the same family. So we need to remember that. If I want to add the same families, so what do I know? I know I have 6 plus 2 minus 1. So 6 and 2 is 8. Minus 1 is 7. So I have 7x squared. So you cancel C and D. And then I add the x's. That 3x minus the 7 plus this 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Minus 7 is minus 2. So obviously my answer is letter D. For 17, the question is what is the domain? So you know domain are the x values. So just pick that one. And for this problem, I really want to explain. So let me see if I can erase this. Now it's already 10:44. I really want to go to bed. I'm tired. I went to school. I had a class. And now I just want to make sure you guys are ready for this benchmark. Make sure, guys, you give me 25 questions correct in that benchmark, okay? Now, when they give you a problem like this, guys, do not get confused. What happened is that they only gave you a little bit. So what you're going to do, you're going to make this and you're going to complete your table, okay? So that's what I'm doing. And remember, they gave you the y values and you don't know the x's. Well, actually you do, because this is the first number, second number, third number, 4, 5th, and 6. And then you check your answers and you see which one generates this table. So the trick when you have a sequence like this is that you gotta complete your table, otherwise you guys will get confused. Okay, from this problem is the same thing. You're gonna check which one generates a table. And what I want to do is I want to do number 20. I do need you to understand how to do 20. I'm going to explain it. There are two things that you need to remember. The first one is that when you multiply, we add the exponents. So this is what I said. When you multiply, you add the exponents. So what is the opposite of multiplication? Division. So what is the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So in this case, I'm dividing. So I'm going to subtract the exponents. So just look, A divided by 2 has to give me 4. So you are between B and C. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. And you subtract the exponent. So 3 minus 1 is 2. And let's see, 2 minus 1 is going to give me only 1. But it's weird, right? So let me do it in the calculator, because I know you guys are going to get a problem like this. Hopefully you are ready to do it, okay? So this is what I am doing. I have this, I'm gonna start all over, okay? So I'm gonna say, okay, let me start a new document. I don't want to save it. And I'm gonna start a calculator. So I am going to assign value for x, whatever value you want. I'm gonna pick 5. So you click 5. You are gonna do control store, and I want that value on x. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my problem. So I have a fraction, so I do control division, and I have 8x cubic plus, and you see I'm supposed to move it a little bit, plus 12x squared. And I will divide that by 2x. But remember, I don't want to get confused, so I'm just going to tell the calculator if that is equal, and I'm going to put my answers. 8x cubic plus 6. And it's telling me that it's false, so A is not my answer. So I'm going to move up, I copy, and I erase, and I say 4x squared plus 6, and it's false, so I go up, I copy, I erase, and I put letter C, 4x cubic plus 6x, and hopefully that is true. Oh, you know why? Because I put it wrong. My bad, it's late. It's 4x cubic, and I'm supposed to move the arrow to change everything else. 6x. And in this problem, guys, I do believe there's a typo again. So I'm gonna copy answer B, plus 6x. I'm gonna add the x that is not there, and that is the correct answer. So make a correction, guys. There's a typo there again, and I apologize, I did not created this review. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I really wanna go over problem 22 because it's very important that we understand how to do this one. So number 22, I know I have a rectangle, and they're telling me that my perimeter, that means everything that goes around, is 60. And I know that the sides, the first side is 3x minus 4. It's supposed to be 3x. I don't need this. Minus 4. And this side over here is x plus 6. But what do you know about the rectangle? Well, I know that the top is the same. It's another 3x minus 4. And I know this side is also x plus 6. So what I need to do, I need to know what is x. So I'm going to just put it in my calculator, what is x. And once I find x, that's not my answer, because I need to come back and I need to do what? To make a substitution. So I'm going to take my calculator here and I'm going to say, okay, I need to do menu 3-2 if you want. I have only one equation. And I'm going to put my problem here. My calculator disappeared. I think it's tired, just like me. Come on, calculator. So I have 3x minus 4 plus another 3x minus 4 plus x plus 6 plus x plus 6, and it's telling me that I have an error. Okay, 3x, let me try it again. Let's do that one. I have 3x minus 4 plus 3x minus 4 plus x plus 6 plus x plus 6, and I'm using the line solve, so I put comma x. First answer must be equation in a single variable. Oh, I know what I'm doing. What am I forgetting, guys? I'm forgetting the equals. That equals 60, which is my perimeter. So x is 7. So now I can say 7 times 3 minus 4, that is 17, and the other side is 7 plus 6, which is 13. So very, very important that you know how to do that problem. Okay, doing the same, with the same concept, I want to show you how to work on problem 23. However, I don't have a lot of time in this video, so I'm going to do 24 in this, and then we start with 25 with the previous one. Okay, 24, I want you to remember what that means to translate. To translate means to move, okay? And you need to remember the first number that has the x is your slope. The second number is where you have it located on the x-axis. So I notice if I want to do a translation, what I'm looking at is at moving this number, okay? So I'm going to say, okay, I have -2. Translator up means plus, so that means my new intercept is going to be at 2. So obviously my answer is +2, so there's only one possibility. And notice they did not change the y-intercept, okay? In problem 25, everything looks too close to those. I just need to know that it's positive. So you right away, what did you say? Well, you eliminate the letter B and you eliminate letter C because I know they are negative. And it's crossing the at -3, so you can see that it looks very good. No, letter D looks very good. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to go over problem 23, which you need to know how to work and to do some transformations. Keep the good work, guys.